Hello, Coachella Valley. Welcome to Live with Your Chamber. I'm your host, Katie Stice, CEO at the amazing Rancho Mirage Chamber of Commerce. And it's always such a pleasure to come on with you today and just share what some of our amazing local business owners are doing, nonprofit organizations. I've seen so many of you use this show to connect with local businesses, and that's exactly why we started Live with Your Chamber. It was actually started during the pandemic when we saw our small businesses really suffering, still trying to share who they are and what they do. And it worked so well. We've just kept doing them. So I want to say thank you so much to all of you for watching. If you are watching today, please leave in the comments where you're watching from. If you have any questions for our guest. And speaking of our guest, let's bring her right out. We want to welcome you to meet Julie Rice of Rice Notary. Everyone needs a notary. So welcome to the show, Julie.
Thanks, Katie.
Oh, so happy to have you. And thank you so much for being just an incredible member of the Chamber of Commerce. We sure do appreciate it.
Thank you.
So, we're going to learn a lot about notary. We're going to learn a lot about you today. And before you got into notary work, what was your occupation before?
So I was 36 years in law enforcement in this before I retired, and I was young when I retired. So that's why this platform was an easy launch for me.
Oh, fantastic. And how did you actually get into the field of notary? I mean, it's kind of a unique one. I feel like it's always a lot of fun to see you on the go, but how did this field kind of get a start for you?
Well, after being a civil servant for 36 years, it was a little rough retiring and thinking, what am I going to do? But ironically, my sister had bought a property, and she was telling me about this notary that came to her house, and she paid them, and she said this would be a perfect job for you, Julie. It's flexible, and you can work when you want. So I didn't even know what a notary was, mobile notaries. I went and Googled it, and I was in class 3 days later because I thought this is right up my alley. It requires efficiency and understanding rules and laws, and I thought this is great, and I can have my own schedule. So that was it. I just launched, bam, right out of the hired.
And how did you choose the desert to start your business?
I actually didn't start it here. I started it in Los Angeles, and
Got
I
it.
moved in there August of 2021. I always knew I was going to retire out here, and I had a weekend place out here, as many people do. But I knew my retirement would be here in the desert, and I had to finish my career in Los Angeles, and then my mother passed away, and I basically had free reign to go wherever I wanted, and I just ran right out here immediately.
Yeah. And how long have you been in the Valley now?
Since August of 2021.
2021. Okay. So you've seen some interesting phases of the Valley as we've kind of been opening and there's been more activity and more happening. It's a special place. There's no doubt.
It's an amazing place. I mean, AccuSure is, I can't believe it's 5 minutes down the road.
I know.
Talent that's getting over there.
That's right. I'm going to be at Journey on Tuesday, but I digress. So tell us a little bit about who a best client for you might be.
Well, they're all great.
Okay.
But I'd say they're all my favorite. I enjoy them all, but elderly people and people that do the trust and power of attorneys and that kind of thing. It seems like it's like a very vulnerable time for people, and I just seem to have they're making big decisions in their life, and I'm very aware of protecting my seniors and making sure that they're not taken advantage of. I talk to them, I ask them questions, and I don't know. I just love working with seniors for and families for their trust and power of attorneys.
Sure. Yeah, it's definitely a vulnerable place where you're able to come in and build that trust with them and help them kind of get through this and feel really comfortable about everything. And speaking of that, for maybe people out there who haven't worked with a notary before, are there certain things that they should have prepared for when you come visit?
Oh, yes. Thank you for asking that. It's a great question. All the documents must be completed prior to my arrival. I mean, I've done hundreds of different types of documents. I don't have anything in particular that I'll do. I'll do them all that I can legally do. They must be completed entirely except for the signature, which will be when I get there. And they have to have a current government issued photo ID, like a passport or driver's license.
Sure. And then you typically bring like a little thumbprint kit, something like that as well. Is that right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I have a nice book, and I fill out the book with all the information regarding the signing, and then they sign it, and I do get their thumbprint. Yep. And I stamp the documents with my notary commission seal.
Got it. And how, just a question, because I know you went through all kinds of classes to get here. Do you have to continue those classes, or once you become a notary, are you set for life? How does that work?
No, that's a great question as well. Every 4 years, we have to recommission and take an exam with the state of California. Then the Secretary of State makes that exam. And then I personally belong to the National Notary Association, where I get annual training as well to make sure that I am cognizant of the current rules and laws regarding notarial work.
And when I was looking at your website, which I just had on, I should have put it back on the screen. I was looking at your website and I saw you have a lot of experience in this field. And I was looking at all the different credentials and you have not already, but you have over 10,000 notary signatures. That is a lot. And so what I love is that when people call you, you're definitely the expert in the field. You know what you're doing, and folks are going to get what they need. Depending on what they're getting signed, what is the time with you like? Can it be like 15 minutes or an hour and 15 minutes or longer? What's that like?
Well, it depends. It can range from one document that needs to be notarized to a trust with a couple signatures per document that's getting notarized. So it can range from literally 5 minutes if you got everything out there and sign my book and I can go. But I don't rush people like that. I mean, that's how long it does take, but I don't do that.
Sure.
But I'd say at 15 minutes, 10 or 15 minutes. You know, hi, how are you?
Okay.
And then the longer ones can take up to an hour easily.
Okay. Got it. And what about travel? What do you have kind of an area that you travel to, or are you kind of open, or tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure. So I usually range with like Palm Springs to Indio.
Okay.
And I'm everywhere in between.
Perfect. And because you have, we talked a little bit about your credentials and your thousands and thousands of signatures and such. And what does kind of, other than those things, because we know that you really are so experienced in this field, but what are some other things that also set you apart from other notary agents?
You know, I think my punctuality, number one, I hear this all the time. You're on time. I'm like, I know. I mean, 10 o'clock, I'm here at 10. And I leave spacers between appointments just in case someone can't find their ID. I don't overbook. I can usually get to you on the same day that you call me, unless I'm totally booked that day. But I've been to appointments within 5 minutes of someone calling, or I think punctuality and there we go.
Perfect. Yeah, no, I agree too. And then just the last question, what are some areas, if there are folks out there that are listening that maybe aren't sure when they would need a notary, can you describe some of the calls that you get and why folks would call you? Is it everything from real estate to, I know you mentioned trust, but what other types of examples can you give us?
So sometimes people are adopting children.
Oh, okay.
That kind of document. I get a lot of calls for the power of attorneys in hospitals. That's a real common one. Going to Eisenhower, they know me over there.
Okay.
And everything, Katie. It's amazing. If you want to rent an apartment, you got to have something notarized. If you're buying a car from out of state, it has to get notarized. There's just hundreds of different kinds of notaries. And
Well,
people are here and they have their retirements. They have to get notarized for annually, to send back saying, yeah, she's still here.
sure. Well, I just appreciate all of the information today about you and your company as well. And I just have to say in the comments, I mean, people have literally have written down traveling notaries are lifesavers.
Oh,
And
wow.
I think it's because you really do, like you just said, someone can call you, today, and you might be able to make it out in the same day or the next day. And like you were saying, with some of these documents, timing really is everything. But there's a ton of like people tagging other folks, people cheering you on. You have a great reputation, it seems like already. So thanks for being such a great member of this community and Chamber of Commerce and doing such great work. We appreciate it.
I'm grateful. I'm grateful for this opportunity to tell people that I'm here and available to them. I'm very flexible, and I love what I do. Thanks, Katie.
And we can definitely tell. Thanks for joining us today. And for everyone who's out there watching, you see Julie's information right on the screen. You can reach her by email, phone. There's more information right on the website. And Julie, thanks again for joining us. We look forward to seeing you in the community soon.
You bet. Thanks, Katie.
Take care. And thanks for joining us today on Live with Your Chamber. It's been a lot of fun to bring this to the community. It's our local business owners that do such incredible things that are right here providing great services and opportunities for you. So we have a lot of great things coming up here at the Chamber of Commerce. Feel free to visit our website anytime. Go to the calendar page. You can find out our events. Go to the directory page and find local resources. Or our information is on there as staff and board of directors if you want to reach out to us and just say hello or ask some questions, but get involved in your community. Thanks so much for supporting the chamber and me professionally as well. We truly appreciate it. Look forward to seeing y'all soon. Take care. Bye.